Endaso-Giizhik, Indigo, Ojibwe Mang, Makwa, Indu Dame, Miskwaagamiiwi-zaaga'igan, Indu Jiba. That's my Ojibwe introduction. My Ojibwe name is Every Day. I belong to the Bear Clan, and I'm from Red Lake. And my English name is Robert DesJarlait.
Thank you, Robert. It's nice for you to be here today. I'm Becky Wolf. I'm a librarian, community embedded librarian with the Franklin Library and the American Indian Cultural Corridor. For most people who have visited the Franklin Library, your mosaic piece, Red Lake, is a very memorable experience. And it's a very large and stunning piece, and so it captures a lot of people's attention when they get into the library. And it's very much considered a focal point in the space. And so we're hoping today to learn more about kind of the process of what that looked like for you to get that mosaic into the library and the creation of it, along with some other artist information that you'd want to share. So with the first question, what was the process of getting your art selected to be in the library?
Well, that was a competitive process. I was contacted by Marilyn Lindstrom, of course, a well-named muralist in the Twin Cities here, and we've worked on several mural projects in Minneapolis and several murals throughout the state. And she got a hold of me and said that she had a grant proposal to do murals at the Franklin Avenue Library. And so we entered. She gave me the application. I had to write in some things and met with the panel. And my proposal was for 2 large murals. I would do one, she would do another one. My subject matter would be Ojibwe imagery. And Marilyn was doing something based on her European background, some of the more traditional art from Northern Europe, and we got the grant.
So what was the process of creating a large mosaic like that?
Creating it?
Yeah, like how did you create such a large piece?
All right, well, one thing is, it wasn't a really large grant considering the project we wanted to do. Actually, both of us, we made very little money actually doing the grant. We had to put most of our grant money into finding a place to do them. So we looked around the Twin Cities, went to a couple of artist lofts. Didn't really see anything that was large enough for our projects because each mural was going to be approximately 7 feet by 7 feet. So we needed studio space for those 2 large pieces and also have enough room so we could move around in, and then also have space for our supplies. And finally we found a place over on, I think it was maybe 46 and Park Avenue, just off of Park Avenue. It wasn't really an artist building, but it just had a very large room for us to do the murals. So we rented that, and I can't remember, I don't remember how long it took us to even do these murals, how long ago we did them. And I think we were there for maybe 6 months. As I remember it, I think it was from fall into winter. So that was the first step in doing the murals, was finding large enough space.
How does that differ from like two-dimensional murals that you've also done? Because you're working with tiles with the Red Lake piece, but I know you've also done other really large murals.
Yeah, I never worked with mosaics before. It's a whole new thing for me. The murals that Marilyn and I had did previously, and the murals that I did on my own, were all paint. And so moving into mosaics, I mean, I didn't have a clue as to what I was going to be doing. And Marilyn had already had experience at doing mosaics, so she said, "Well, no, don't worry about it. I'll show you what you need to do." And it was a difficult process. I mean, first of all, we had to come up with our designs, and we did our designs on a large sheet of paper, a couple of pieces of paper taped together. So they measured out at 7 feet by 7 feet. Did an outline of the imagery, and then put that on top of the table. And then around the edges, I think there were some wood blocks to hold it down. So that was the first step in creating the mural. And that's called the cartoon, the outline. Basically a cartoon, which is the outline of the imagery. Then came the task of starting to fill it in. And I just thought, oh my God, how am I going to fill this thing in? So huge. And what we did is, with a tile, there's approximately 14,000 pieces of tile on each mural. We had to break the tile into pieces, and then use those pieces and put them on top of the cartoon and start filling in the imagery. So, and then we also, we ordered special tile for the murals. I think some of our tile came from Chicago. I think some of the tile was Italy. They had to be special ordered. And then, as I said, they had to be broken down into pieces. And then those pieces were used to fill in the imagery. One of the things about doing that work is that we had volunteers that helped us. There's no way we could have did those murals in the time that we had to do them then. So we had a number of volunteers from the community who came in and helped out. I'm going to say it took 4 or 5 months to do the murals themselves. So again, it was a long process.
So what was it like getting it from the warehouse or your workspace into the library and installing it above the fireplace?
Okay, well, I didn't really have anything to do with the installation. Marilyn did. And so the way that was done is she had been in contact with a muralist from Chicago, I believe, and he gave her some advice about how to install the mural. Marilyn used a special tape. Tape was cut out in sections, and it was placed on top of the top of the tiles. Sections were cut out and they were lifted up, and then they were brought over to the library. At the library, there's a frame made for each mural, and then there's a special adhesive that was put on the wall. And then those sections were pressed up into the wall, against the wall. And once they dried, once the adhesive dried, then the tape was taken off, and there was the mural.
So one of the things we get a lot of questions about your mosaic that's called Red Lake. It shows many symbols, and we get a lot of questions about those symbols and what the meaning is behind the mosaic, both on the details of the symbols, but also just as the piece as a whole. So if you could speak to that, like what the meaning is behind and what the symbolism is within the mosaic.
The idea I have for my piece, my artwork represented, the way I saw it, was the image that represented the creator. Originally, I kind of thought like maybe it was a storyteller, but the more I got into it, the more I saw it as the creator. The Ojibwe creation story, the creator took a shell, a miga shell, crowry shell, and blew through that. And what came out the other end was the essence of life. The things I was depicting were associated with or are associated with Ojibwe stories, beliefs. One of the most important is the clan system. Ojibwe society is based on the clan system. Each clan has a specific rule. And so on the mural, in the original story, it said that the clan system came to us when we were living on the Atlantic Ocean, and several beings, animal beings, came out of the water, and they brought the clan system with them. So in my mural, that's what I was thinking of. If you look at the mural, you see the animals in the water, and they're going towards the shore. The animals that I have representing the clans are the bear, the fisher, the otter, turtle, catfish, loon, crane. So they're coming ashore and bringing that knowledge of how to bring structure to Ojibwe society. And then along the shore of the lake, I put in plants that are pictographic images of plants. And those are pictographs they're actual pictographs that appear on birch bark that represent healing plants. So all along the shore of the lake, there's the healing plants are growing. Then in the background, it's sky, thunder being the symbol that represents both the sun and the moon together. Then over to the far left, the sky turns into night sky. We see pictographs of stars. I also did an outline kind of represent not just the Ojibwe, but also to honor another tribal group here, Dakota. So you can see a geometric shape that's shaped like a dome. That represents the wigwam type of house that we lived in. And then behind that, you can see the pointed shape is the teepee. So that represents both the Ojibwe and Dakota, of course, inhabit Minnesota, in particular the Twin Cities. So that's the the deeper meaning of the symbols that I use. And
How did Red Lake, the name, how did you choose the name Red Lake for the piece in the library?
well, I of course always thought of Red Lake when I was doing it. If you look at the water, it's red. Uh, but I didn't really have a name for it. I hadn't really thought about a name for it while I was working on it. And then on the day that we finished, I got home. And that's when I heard about the high school shooting up in Red Lake. I decided I would call the mural Red Lake, to honor those that were killed in the violence that happened at the high school. That's how the mural got its name.